Welcome, dear brothers and sisters, to our channel. The topic of the Divine Liturgy always requires our special attention, because only when we understand and are aware of the service can we pray sincerely and attentively. That's why every Orthodox Christian is called to understand the meaning behind every action and every prayer we hear during the liturgy. Today we will talk about the Catechumens. Who are the Catechumens? Why is there even a separate litany for them? And why, right before the cherubic hymn, does the deacon ask all catechumens to depart the church? Let's start by understanding who the catechumens are. Catechumens are those who have not yet been baptized, but are preparing to receive baptism. In early Christianity, those who intended to be baptized were enrolled as catechumens and began preparation for the sacrament. Special prayers were read over them, in which the priest asked God to bring these people closer to him and lead them to baptism. After that, the catechumens would go through a period of instruction and discipline, during which certain restrictions applied. For example, they were allowed to attend services, but had to remain only in the narthex, the outer part of the church. They were not permitted to participate in the sacraments, and they were also not allowed to be present during the liturgy of the faithful, so they had to leave the church after the exclamation, "Catechumens, depart." Let's pause here for a moment. We've clarified that the church prays for the catechumens, and there is a specific litany during which the deacon calls the faithful, meaning the baptized members of the church, to pray for them. Then, at the end of the litany, the priest or deacon asks the catechumens to bow their heads before the Lord. And here we often see how almost all the lay people in the church instinctively bow their heads, even though most of them are already baptized, and therefore they are not supposed to do this. This moment tells us a lot about our spiritual and prayer life. Often we stand during the service, but our minds are elsewhere. We're daydreaming or thinking about something else, and we cross ourselves or bow automatically, without listening or being aware of what the deacon or priest is actually saying. But if a person listens attentively to every exclamation, experiences each prayer with the heart, and still doesn't understand something, like who the catechumens are, then we must do all we can to learn more about the liturgy. Without understanding what we are praying for and what is happening at each stage of the service, the liturgy cannot truly touch our hearts. Who are the catechumens? Who are those bringing forth fruit? What does the cherubic hymn mean? What is the mercy of peace? We should know all of this. Only when we understand the service and listen with attentiveness will we be able to experience it in our hearts and pray with purity. So let's summarize. We've learned who the catechumens are and why the church prays for them. And most importantly, we've learned how we, as faithful Orthodox Christians, should behave during the litany for the catechumens. If we bow our heads at that point in the service, it means we're either inattentive or don't understand who the catechumens are. We should stand and wait for the next exclamation, when the appeal is addressed to us, so that we may continue our communal prayer. Dear brothers and sisters, we don't come to church every day. Maybe only for an hour and a half. Let's be attentive during the service. Let's listen to every exclamation of the deacon and every word of the priest. The depth, attentiveness, and awareness of our prayer determine the grace that will touch our hearts, the blessings God in His love will grant us, the strength with which our souls will be cleansed, and the love that will remain in our hearts after the liturgy. Let's offer our hearts, our attention, and our love to God, at least during this 1.5 hours of the Divine Liturgy.